why I stopped dating, because dating sucks.
Most women don't respect most men, and on top of that, most women don't like most men. A majority of the women want a minority of the men, and social media has made it where they think there's a bunch of guys out there that meet these prerequisites, but the reality is this is like the top 1 or 2% of men, but girls feel that they're entitled to this guy because they get so much attention on social media.
But this is literally the kind of tip I'm on and why I decided to delete my dating profile and purge my social media of all the thirst traps. It's like most men, specifically me, are hardwired to simp over pussy.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey!
Welcome to another wonderful episode.
Fantastic.
Last of Nice Guys podcast, guys. We're back. We're doing it again, and we're here. And why do I sound like this? Because we're missing a very crucial member of our trio, but it's fine. So we're gonna do this by ourselves because we're men.
We haven't been a trio in friggin' months, months.
I know it's sad.
The only time I remember that we are a trio is when you post those flashbacks. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot there was
another guy there.
It was great, you know. Now he's posting flashbacks when when Joe was doing it from his car. It's like, you know, when we first started this, Joe and I, okay, he did it on his laptop, and it was you know, he was professional and ready to go. And let's say he wasn't professional, but then you can see as the episodes progress, he went from his laptop to his phone to no video, and now he doesn't even show up. So it's you could actually watch a slow progression of the demise of Joe. I mean, he's still around. We were supposed to record yesterday, and that was my fault. And he actually, you know, showed interest in it, and I really should have put an effort in it, but you know, things happen. I'm in school and I got a new job, and et cetera and so forth. So Manny, what do we no, that's I'm not doing that. What's our topic? You know where I was going with
today's wonderful and special topic. Today with keeping up with smart people. We are going to talk about why I stopped dating. Me personally, not anybody else, just me. No, it's a general,
it's a general statement.
Why I stopped dating, because dating sucks.
And we did a topic called "Dating Sucks" before, but that was when I was dating. Manny's never been dating because he hates love, and and Joe was reflecting upon when he used to date. This is kind of a follow-up to that episode. Don't ask me when that episode was. I'm not even going to search for it. Well, maybe I am. But yeah, it's just a follow-up to that. So this is actually inspired by a post from Fresh and Fit. Is that their name?
I believe it's Fresh.
Okay,
and Fit, yeah.
Which we technically do not subscribe to these dudes at all. But sometimes they say things that resonate with the nice guys and they inspire stuff. So this is gonna be one of them. So man, if you're gonna pull that audio up, and we will talk about it.
Yep,
and
I got it right now. Hold on.
Topic.
All right,
Hey,
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 4, because I can count. Yay. Hold on.
Most women don't respect most men. And on top of that, most women don't like most men. A majority of the women want a minority of the men. And social media has made it where they think there's a bunch of guys out there that meet these prerequisites. But the reality is this is like the top 1 or 2% of men. But girls feel that they're entitled to this guy because they get so much attention on social media. For all the guys out there that say, what are you talking about? Let's say you made an Instagram profile, you put pictures of yourself up, and girls start DMing you saying, yo, I'll fly you out to Dubai. Yo, I got a party coming, etc. And you can go ahead and smash any girl you wanted. Well, you start to be picky too, right? You start to think that you were important. You would start to get annoyed when regular girls hit you up. You would only want the best and baddest girls hitting you up. You would no longer feel the need to self-improve. You wouldn't become a better man. You wouldn't go to the gym. You would just be special. You deserve it, right? You know your worth. That's the modern day woman. We don't punish them for bad behaviors, and we don't hold them accountable for their poor decisions. No matter how a woman behaves in the West, she's rewarded for it. So what I tell guys is, you need to stop simping. Most women don't.
Okay, so that's that right there. And so I'm gonna read what I wrote in our group chat, and which is basically what inspired this. So first I said, yeah, fuck him. Just in general. But this is literally the kind of tip I'm on and why I decided to delete my dating profile and purge my social media of all the thirst traps. It's like most men, specifically me, are hardwired to simp over pussy. Okay. And so I said maybe this should be our next topic. Basically, and I'll briefly explain where I am right now. Because I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast or not, but after conversing with my brother, we were talking about things, and it wasn't directly related to dating in any way, but it inspired me to just drop it all. I'll make it very clear. I was on fire on these dating apps. You can ask you can actually listen to the podcast every 2 or 3 podcasts. I would mention I'm going on a first date, and a new coworker said, you're a serial dater. I was like, I didn't realize that, but yeah, I became a serial dater. I'd go on one date and I'd find some excuse to be like, you know what, I'm not digging you, and I'd move on, or I'd date for a few months and then I would either say, you know what, I became a serial dater because I was dating for fun, not even casually, just for fun now. And I realized that what should be important to me right now is 3 things: getting my body right, getting my money right, and getting my mind right, and everything else will fall into place. These 3 pillars came from my brother's conversation. I realized I'm spending a lot of time on these dating apps and dating, and I don't even know what I'm doing it for anymore, And so I dropped it cold turkey. And when I mean cold turkey, I didn't suspend my dating apps. I didn't just uninstall the apps. I deleted the profiles. Why does this sound so impactful? Because I've never, whether I was dating, taking a break, I never deleted my profiles. Never delete my profiles. I mean, completely remove them. By the way, they make it exceedingly hard and difficult to delete your profile.
But that's every social media platform anyway.
You're right. You sure I didn't realize it. Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you just don't want to suspend it? You do know if you do know
30 days. Just
you do know if you do know if you delete it, you lose everything. Like I and I deleted every dating app, uninstalled it, deleted all the profiles, and I'm not going back. I decided to stop dating, but then I took it a step further. I said, wait a minute. What's also part of this dating app is all these women that I follow. All these quote unquote thirst traps on my Facebook, on my Snapchat, on my Instagram. And when I started looking through, I was like, when did I become this guy? I said, I'm following so many profiles just because, oh, she's pretty. I've been, and when I say so many profiles, I've been doing this for 2 months now, purging slowly but surely my Instagram, my Facebook, and my Snapchat of all these thirst traps, all these women that I've never actually even spoken to, woman that has never even responded to any of my compliments. Like, when did I become that guy? So I've been doing that too, purging my social media, and it is gonna be the rest of this year because I have to I see the post. Oh, have I ever spoken to this? Nope, unfollow. It's gonna be the rest of this year. So that's where I am now. I have stopped dating. Hard stop. It's not important to me. And if it is going to happen, it will fall into place after I get those other things done. Body, mind, money. So I have stopped dating. This is why I have stopped dating. Manny has never dated since his divorce. So why have you never even started? That doesn't mean he's not getting it. It just means he's just not investing any time in like pursuing women, whether it be for fun or casually or with purpose. So hit us up, Manny.
Well, my thing is, and you're incorrect. I'm not really getting it in as I should. Especially now that I'm working 2 full-time jobs. I don't really have the time or the energy.
He has some afternoon delight in between.
I have and I'm gonna say this on air because it's hilarious. Um one of my coworkers at my day job, he says, "Oh man, you gotta find yourself an STD." And I go, "Who wants an STD? That's something that's not." He's like, "No, bro. I'm from Atlanta. We say things differently over there."
I think
And
STD is a universal term for it. But hey, carry on.
no, he said an STD is something to do. And I was like, wow, I've never heard that before. So he said,
You
he
see, now
says, yeah,
you said
man.
he's from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
But maybe if Joe was on his goddamn podcast, he can confirm if they say that in Atlanta, Joe.
So he said, yeah, he's like, you got to find yourself an STD, something to do, with your time. You spend so much time working and being a full-time father that you don't do anything for yourself. Now, recent things have changed where I can actually do a little bit more for myself outside of working so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I still just don't care to put that much energy into finding someone or dating or anything like that. And it's because I spent 10 plus years of my life, trying to cater, trying to make happy,
to one woman,
sacrificing, to one woman.
So why is it? So why is it that you're not interested in meeting a different kind of woman, it could be a different culture, a different race? What I'm saying is that you won't even dip your toe in it to even look around to see what else is out there because you've been out of the game for what, a decade and a half?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
why is it that with
it's
your
just,
newfound freedom, aren't you getting out there?
it's mentally draining, and I don't have the capacity to try and meet anybody because
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
at a
my
point in
stories
my
didn't help.
no, they didn't.
No, they did
Because
not
the
help.
moment something would have been said, like in the middle of a dinner or something that I didn't like, I'm out. I'm just, thanks for the appetizer. Here's the $10 for it. Enjoy your meal by yourself. I think I'm just so mentally hardened and drained, or I should say emotionally hardened and mentally drained,
Mm-hmm.
that
No, you
if I
definitely look
was to
hard.
rock hard, son, stop kidding. I feel like if I was to like go out and do something, I would definitely say something wrong because the asshole in me just would take over completely. So it doesn't. I don't find it
But that's part of the
compelling.
fun. That's the part of the fun in it. Once you realize you're not going out there to, and I'm not trying to talk myself back into dating. I'm still not doing that. But that was part of the fun. When you realize you can go there and be yourself, and you're not, and as long as you're not trying to impress the individual any more than they should be trying to impress you, if you're going out there just for the fun of it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm a guy that when I used to go out on dates, it's always used to be fun because I would make it fun. If there's anybody who would make going out on a date fun or funner than me, it would be you. Okay. Shoot, we went on a man date before and that was friggin' fun when we first met. You know what I'm saying? And you went there, barely knew each other, and it was a blast because of,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's just two dudes hanging out. So I could see you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, things might turn you off, but then you would just roll with the punches and have a good time and do what I used to do. All right, well, you kind of turned me off. We had a great night. I'm not going to see you again, but it was a good night still. I can still see you enjoying an experience with someone, whether it goes forward or not. That's the
I
thing.
mean, I know I have the capability to do so. It's just that it's just not a priority for me.
Mhm.
I don't care. It's my mindset right now is just it's focusing on my other aspects of life and fixing everything that's I've had to deal with in the past few years that I've been
Mhm.
struggling with, being mentally better for myself and for my girls and financially better.
Mhm.
I'm focusing on that right now. I don't really care. Like I've been alone for so long, even though I've been dealing with, in and out of my marriage and whatever the case is, just I felt so alone, and I've been so alone that it's just, I'm alone and I'm fine with it. And I want to focus on other aspects of my life before I move on and do something else with somebody else. Because the one thing I've learned out of all of this is, if you're not happy with yourself and the life that you're currently living in, you're never going to be happy in a relationship. It's not going to happen. You can try, and as they've said several times, or that I've seen before, is if you don't make happiness up to somebody else. So basically saying you have to be happy with yourself. You have to make yourself happy. Don't rely on somebody else to make yourself happy. Just like in the audio that we played from these guys, a lot of these women nowadays are looking for a way to, one, not get paid, or not have to work and get paid, and they're looking for that top 1-2% of men that are willing to give them so much financially, and they don't have to do anything. Like you said, all they want to do is show up. And I've met a lot of people that way. I've met a lot of women that way. I've met a lot of dudes that way too. But at the same time, it's just like the society has twisted the whole dating scene, whereas we've discussed before, all women feel that they have to do is just show up.
But that's typical though. That is
right.
Yeah, as
but
much
it's
as
not,
you say,
it hasn't always been that way.
No, I disagree. I absolutely disagree.
I have never dated
think about
in that aspect.
Well, okay. When you used to date before you got married, they still just showed up. You would ask them out on a date, you'd go out on a date, and you would be in charge of wining and dining them, paying for the bill, probably picking them up. All they did back then still was just show up. Sure, they dressed.
Never
not
what? For me. Not for me. I didn't. If I knew that that was the kind of individual that I was going to put myself in a public area with, I wouldn't do it.
But I don't understand. Because what do you define a woman not just showing up on a date?
So with me in the past, when I went on a date, it would have to basically be on equal terms. We're here for each other. We're here to enjoy each other's company. Mm-hmm. We're here with the mindset that we're going Dutch on this meal. If not, I'll be the nicer person, whatever have you. But
how did you cultivate that mindset? Because no woman gets asked out by a guy and is like,
I don't ask random people out. I have to get to know you first. I have to have that ability that there's some sort of foundation that was built before that first date happened. I don't generally like, oh, you're cute, let's take you out one day. I hate doing that. I hate seeing other people doing that. Hey girl, let me take you out on a date, girl. You look good. You got a man? No one, not even women like that shit. It's annoying as fuck. I don't have the patience for that. So I have to create a foundation and get to know you. I do the prepping first. It's like cooking a meal, doing something that you've never done before, whole brand new recipe that you've never done. You looked at it, you look good, whatever, and you prep for it first. And then you want to make sure that all your ingredients are there, even the little spices, little extra stuff that you want to put in there, it's all there for you before you start actually making that meal happen. And that's just how I used to go on datings, and that's how I will forever do it when I start dating again. I want to create that foundation, and I want to get to know the person primarily. I know that's what dates are for,
right?
But when you go on a date with somebody that you don't know, they're putting on a facade 90% of the time.
Right.
If I know who you are before I go on that date with you, one, you should already know that I've chosen to sacrifice my time for you for this particular reason, to get to know you more. If we don't ever go on a date, after having, created that foundation, I've already known, and you should already know, that this was never going to happen. Now, we can do like a fun friendship date. I'm down for drinks and wings all day. That's fine. But on a relationship type thing, that foundation has to be there first for me, and it has to be, oh, okay, I can see myself, this could be going somewhere else, whatever besides a friendship. But that's just,
sorry.
It's your timer?
No, not my timer. Just reminding me that my meeting's starting soon.
But that's just how it is for me. I have to create that mindset first before I go out on that first date.
And I absolutely respect that. I respect that. But that's just you vetting a woman to see if they're worth your time to take out. See, I went through so many stages and so many phases in dating. Like it's crazy. One of my phases was the search for what I call a woman of substance. That was me saying exactly what you said. I wasn't taking out a woman just because she was a pretty face, just because I enjoyed her. I had to vet her in my own way, talk to her, get to know her, even formulate a friendship before I decided there's something more to you that's worthwhile to have me want to pursue a relationship, or at least to take you out, to spend money on you, spend time on you. I call it the search for a woman of substance. But even in that search, and that failed too, by the way. Even because it's a myth. But even when I would vet the girl and say, you know what, she's a woman of substance. I like her. She's gonna match. She might work well. Whatever. She understands who I am. She seems to enjoy me. It was still goes without saying that I'd be asking you out. I'd be picking you up. I'd be paying the bill, and the onus would be on me to impress you. You see? So that's what I'm saying, that you saying that you used to cultivate an atmosphere where it was mutual. I'm asking you out, but you're going to impress me as much as I'm going to impress you. And I'm saying, I don't know how you could have cultivated that environment between you and a woman, because that's not the norm. A woman will think you're the best man in the world. And you are awesome. You're amazing. You are everything. And you don't immediately pick up that bill at the end of the night, it turns her off immediately. I mean, I know we have women that listen to this say, well, I'm not like that. I've gone Dutch. Yeah. But that's not the norm. And even if you did do it and didn't feel any way about it, and you were happy to do it, part of your mind is like, wow, he didn't pay for this date. Or then when you tell your friends, well, yeah, we went out and we went Dutch. It was a great date. They'd be like, you went Dutch? Like, there are social norms. A man pursues a woman, a man courts a woman, a man asks a woman out, a man is supposed to pay for the first date, a man is responsible for cultivating romance, a man needs to impress the woman, and only after we do those steps do we get reciprocation, which is why dating for me began to be so serialized serialized, because I started expecting reciprocity immediately. If I'm going to put my time, I expect you to put your time in too. If I'm going to put at least money in, you may not have to put your money in, but show me that my time and my effort and my spending coin on you was worthwhile, not just sitting there, smiling. So that's where I'm lost about the whole thing, where you said you were able to cultivate that 50-50 mentality on dates, because that's not the norm. And
no,
it's
getting
worse, but it wasn't the norm back then either,
No, yeah, it's gotten worse over the years, but I don't know. I have a knack to just, I see people. I can read them, and I can tell the bullshit before the bullshit even comes out. So I'm
not good at that.
If I don't see that you're a real individual, because that's the only piece of people, the only kind of people that I want in my life. I want people that are real. Absolutely. All of the time. That's why I am the person that I am, from the time that I wake up to the time I go to sleep, and then some. And people would look at me like, how the hell do you do that? Like, how are you just who you are? I mean, there's so much crap going on in the world. Why be fake about it 24/7? I can't be around people that way. That's why I have to cultivate that from the get-go, because if I don't see that from the beginning, and I feel that there's something like off, I don't waste my time. I've already wasted so much time and so much of so many years of my life trying to figure stuff out with love and dating and all this stuff. I don't have that anymore. I don't have that in me anymore. So it's not even, I don't want to say I don't have the time. It's not in me to waste my time right now at this point in my life. And they say, as you get older, you care less about stupid shit. You care less about things you can't control. And the truth about it is, yeah, if you can't control it, why fret about stressing it? Like, what's the point in doing it? So if I can't control a woman's ability to be real, I'm gonna change that situation and walk away from it. If I'm not here to play experimentation. I'm not here to be an experimental type situation. I'm not. I want to
You're
be
just
who
not
I am.
here.
I want to be who I am. I want you to be who you are. And if it works out for the both of us, then so be it. If it doesn't, okay, had a great time, keep it moving. Let's remain friends, whatever. Um, but that's just how I am. I have, love at home with my daughters. I don't have to worry about needing somebody else's love. Do I get lonely at times? Sure. Can I ignore it? Hell yeah. Do I ignore it? All the time. But it is what it is. The older that you get, the less you give a shit about certain things in your life. And I've grown to just not care to have somebody with me.
All right. So here's the
I
question.
can die alone.
And it's funny because I used to say this to my boys, because my boys, bless their heart, they used to be, especially when their mom found somebody else and their mom got married, they were concerned about me. They said, well, Dad, when we're not with you, we're concerned about you. I said, why are you concerned about me? He said, because you're all alone, because there's nobody here. You said, Dad, you need a wife, you need your own wife. And I would tell them, I said, guys, you know what? That's not in the cards for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And more so than that, it might just end up just being us, me and you two. And I'm okay with that. I used to say that like a decade ago, because I recognized that, well, one, I sucked at choosing women. And that, I already did my procreation. Being a single father, as involved as I was, clearly wasn't helping my dating causes. And I said, it's okay. And I meant it though. I mean, yeah, same thing. Did I feel lonely? Absolutely. Did I still date? Sure, because I wasn't opposed to the idea. I to think and still think to this day, I would be an amazing husband. I would be an amazing husband or stepfather or father to a little girl. I still feel that deep down inside. But as the years went on, call it, I got entrenched in doing my own thing. Sure. But I recognized back then, I said, it could just be this. This could just be me. I could just date every once in a while and not have that quintessential happily ever after, and it's okay. So I get what you're saying. It's funny like that. But let me ask you a question. As I have cold turkey stopped dating, do you ever see yourself starting to date anytime soon, or is it or would you be waiting for your children to age out and the empty nest syndrome to hit you for you to finally say, you know what, now is the time for me to start, dipping my toe in there? When do you see yourself dating anytime soon?
Nah.
Like at all?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I don't like I said, I don't have that.
I gotta find my small violin. Hold on. Where is that?
Even at a young age, I wasn't one of those like I want a family and never, I never had that. I
Right.
never wanted kids. I
Right.
love my children. I never had that need. Like I want to start a family. I want to get married. I want to do all this crazy stuff. I didn't have that in me. I had children. I'm a great father. They love me. They know that I love them. Fine. I never had that. I want to be in love. I want to be married. I've experienced those. To me, those are experiences, and I know that sounds very dry, and oh, he just hates love. But I've never. Those are experiences. Those are things to experience. I don't believe that marriage is necessary to live life. You don't have to go through that. You can be with somebody for 10 to 15, 20 years and not be married to them. It's the same shit. All you're doing is going to a courthouse, doing an extravagant show for other people. For what? To say that we're together? Nowadays, people do stupid shit like, hey, it's on Facebook. It means it's real. What? Like the whole thing is just it's dumb, Now, again, I don't fault people for wanting to do that and have those expectations in your life. That's you. You want to do that. That's fine. This is who I am. I'm not saying this is how you should be. This is just who I am. I don't think for me that all that is necessary. I don't care for the extravagance. I don't care for the show. I don't care for any of it. So I've never had that in me to be, I want to date. I want to be with somebody. I need somebody. I don't need anybody. I need myself.
I just want to make a correction. I felt the same way. It's only after I had kids, because that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, now I have kids. So I need to have a family. I either need to work it out with their mom. Bad idea. Or I need to find somebody who's in a similar situation to me. Bad idea. Or I need to find somebody who accepts me and my situation. Bad idea. So, you know, I was a very casual dater. Up until meeting their mom, I was a very casual dater. I dated her because she seemed to like me more than the other girls who liked me. That's basically how I dated. It was, okay, you like me? Well, I don't have any reason not to date you, so I'll date you. I was a very casual date. I didn't give a damn. I didn't look for that stuff. I didn't want a family. I didn't want to get married, you know, partially because of you know, my you know, home life as a child. Not to say it was terribly awful, but it wasn't like, yeah, this is why I want to be married. So, but it's after I had kids. I already had kids now. So yeah, there's no other way. There's no more serial dating. There's no more casual dating. There is dating with purpose. I need to have a family because now I already have kids. And that's where the whole, I want to be in love, I would be a great husband, I need to become more domesticated. That's where that all came from. The consequences of having kids at 19 and 20. So I get exactly what you're coming from. But that's why I became the whole domesticated man thing that I was talking about. But we're gonna wrap it up because I actually have a meeting. So final thoughts, Manny, before we wrap this episode up.
So one, when it comes to dating, it needs to change. The whole spectrum has to change again, because this is, as Mr. Fresh or Fit, whoever the hell he is, I don't really care which one he is, was stating in the audio, that there's all of these women are fighting for that top 1% to 2% of men that you're never going to see. I had a conversation with somebody at my workplace, real quick, short story. She's not leaving her toxic boyfriend because he pays all of her bills, but he gives her nothing sexually. My thing is, you're going to get one or the other. You're never going to get both. That top 1% to 2% of men will give you both. But again, that's that top 1% to 2% of men. You're never going to, it's a small number of men. Women outnumber men. Just think about that. So if you're looking at it from a female point of view, you know, that's half of a half. It's a small percentage of men that will give you both. So when it comes to dating, you need to be on the same level where, one, you have to be independent for yourself and not be snobby about it. I don't need that. Oh, I don't need a man in my life. Fuck this. Oh, no. Shut the fuck up. No one cares about that. First of all, you're an independent man, woman. More power to you. Great. That means you don't need anybody in your life to take care of you. Good start. Two, don't go into a date thinking that this is going to be the rest of my life. This is the man I'm going to marry. Don't have those kind of expectations, because they never work out. Sometimes they do, but again, small percentage. And three, just be yourself. Don't have that facade when it comes to dating. Don't expect a man to do stuff just because someone told you that it should be expected. Leave society out of it. Leave your family, leave your friends out of it. You're there. Enjoy that moment with that individual that you are on a date with. And if you guys go Dutch, cool. Don't let it be a bad thing and a bad check mark on your list. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the time that you're spending with somebody else, because that's what's most important. And that's what creates positive relationships in the future, not what you expect and what you want to happen.
I absolutely agree. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about that. That's perfect. So well, that's it for the Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I'm Jason. That's Manny. And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.